my name is Stacy Nalley, and I'm the Public Outreach Coordinator for your Oregon State Capitol. I'm here today in State Capitol State Park, a beautiful March day, with my friend Mika Yamanaka. Mika is a local resident and she works downtown Salem at the Grand Hotel. I've known her for, I think, 7 years now,
yes.
and I'm just, anyways, really blessed to know you. So thank you for being here.
Well, welcome. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
So we are here because we're going to be talking about Cherry Blossom Day, and we're really excited to do so. If you can see the trees above us and behind us, the buds are just starting to emerge. And well, I love spring. Spring is one of my favorite times of the year. I love seeing all the flowers unfurl and everything shooting up from the ground. But did you know that by statute, Cherry Blossom Day is the third Saturday of March? So this was passed in 2017, and I'm going to be reading this bill verbatim. And it says, related to an annual day of observance, whereas the cherry tree is an essential part of Salem's history, culture, and economy. And whereas Salem's first Cherry Festival was held in 1903 with a 3-day celebration that includes a queen's coronation and many other activities, as well as industrial displays and exhibits of cherries arranged in booths along Court Street. And whereas in 1907, the Pacific Coast Association of Nurserymen adopted a resolution declaring Salem to have the greatest and finest display of cherries known in history, and by unanimous vote gave Salem the title of Cherry City. And whereas in 1913, the Cherryans organization was established in Salem to host an annual Blossom Day. And whereas in 1986, the city of Salem and Kawagoe City, Japan, entered into a sister city relationship to strengthen the bonds between them. And whereas the cherry blossom has been a symbol of Japanese culture since time immemorial, and it's symbolic of the Cherry City as well. And whereas in 1992, more than 150 Akabono cherry trees were planted on the Capitol Mall, in keeping with Salem's renowned affinity for cherries, and whereas residents and visitors alike enjoy strolling beneath the blossoms, and the significance of the cherry tree in Salem has had a long and fruitful history, now therefore, Salem is known as the Cherry City. Be it enacted by the people of the state of Oregon, the Legislative Assembly designates the third Saturday in March of each year as Cherry Blossom Day in Salem, and encourages all residents and visitors to join in this observance. So, by statute, isn't that great? By statute, it weaves together the cherry blossoms, sakura, with the importance of the blooms to the Japanese culture and our sister city relationship with Kawagoe, Japan, and the importance and significance of the Japanese culture to our state. So I know that Hanami means flower viewing in Japan, but can you tell us a little bit more about sakura, the importance of the cherry blossoms, and Hanami in Japanese culture?
Well, first of all, I was so excited, like in 2015, the bill passed, and then we have a Cherry Blossom Day. And then that was really honorable. And then being Japanese coming from Japan, and it was so exciting. And I remember that day, like people came here and then just to sit outside of the courtroom and then kind of appreciate that whole honorable mention. And then that was really exciting. And then we started the festival, and then it was just such a wonderful experience that I had. Yeah. And then so Hanami's been for being with us as a Japanese for a long time, since I believe like a 15, like almost like a 1600 or something like that. And then it has changed, the custom has changed a little bit since then, because it was used to be a like kind of upper class doing a big party outside. but it got changed and then it became more popular among anybody. And then at that time, so everybody went to the park and then enjoy looking at the hanami and then having a nice picnic under the tree. So that's the custom that I know, and then I do that every year. And then once the spring comes, and then it's the time thinking about where should I go, what should I bring, and then who should I invite, and then how many times should I go to see a cherry blossoms.
Well, that's interesting that you say how many times should I go, because obviously it's finite. The blossoms come on the tree and it just seems like they're here for such a brief period and then they're gone. And so we definitely have to take advantage of them when they're in peak bloom. So we do designate the third Saturday of March as Cherry Blossom Day, but peak bloom can vary. In fact, it varies from place to place. I know in Japan, I looked it up, and they say about April 4th is peak bloom in Japan. Now, we've had full bloom before on Cherry Blossom Day, but we've also missed the cherry blossoms one year. They had all floated off the trees. And then for a couple of years, we only had maybe 25% of the blooms open in the mall. So it really depends on weather and what's going on. But this year we have a wonderful warm weather, and I'm hopeful that we'll hit the nail on the head for Cherry Blossom Day on the 26th. But you did say picnicking under the cherry tree, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. And I know you packed a bento for us today. Do you want to talk about that tradition?
Sure. Let's see. Should I just go?
Yeah, you can open it right here.
All right.
Now I can say I did bring a blanket, so we could be practicing Hanami on the lawn back here and tasting this in a little bit.
That'd be good. Well, we always use like this kind of little handkerchief, things to tie.
And you even have cherry blossoms on your handkerchief.
Yes, I was lucky I had that, and then was like, oh, this is perfect. So I brought a few things. I'm gonna go this one to the side. All right. So we usually makes like a family sized lunchbox, and then I just made like a one. Like usually we have like a 3, 4, 5 of them with this, and then because it's a big party, and then whole family get together, grandma, grandpa, kids, and then kids' friend. So the whole like a park, like big 10 by 10 size of place will be packed with people, and then the bento box. So this is what I have.
This is exciting. Look at this.
Kind of like typical bento box, which has like onigiri, which is a rice balls, and then fried chicken. Don't miss that. And then eggs, and then broccoli, and then some cucumber wrapped with sandwich ham. That's what I kind of did today. But yeah, so
this is so beautiful.
Yeah, and it smells good, huh?
It smells very good.
It's real.
So, but one thing I wanted to talk about though was the flower on the top of this box. So, I mean, flowers are just so important to the Japanese culture. And I noticed that on your kimono that you're wearing today, cherry blossoms. And cherry blossoms on the obi, which is the sash on her kimono. And they're perfect. They're just that delicate pink, which is the same color as the cherry blossoms that we get here in the mall. So do you guys notice that motif in a lot of the things that you do?
I believe so. And then we have like all season, like a spring, we will bring up cherry motif, like a handkerchief, bento box, clothing, everything. And then come summer, we will have a different flowers. And then the fall, of course, the fall, like a fall trees. And then
So I was looking at kimono that had the leaves on it, so different fall patterns and colors. So you like to celebrate the seasons even in your dress.
Yes. Yeah. So here in Oregon, we do have a season, so that's really wonderful, and then definitely appreciate that.
We're going to tell you other places in Oregon. If you can't get to State Capitol State Park, which is absolutely fantabulous, right? With its 151 Akabono blossoming cherry trees, where you can go. So Tom McCall Waterfront Park, the Portland Japanese Garden, Washington Park, the Hoyt Arboretum, Crystal Springs Rhododendron Garden, the Lansu Chinese Garden, Laurelhurst Park, Dunaway Park Lilac Garden, Pittock Mansion, and Mount Tabor Park. Now, all of those are in the Portland metro area, but I can tell you, and I know this from experience, that Hood River does something called Blossom Time. And they have something in the summer called the Fruit Loop, where you drive, I know that sounds funny, the Fruit Loop, but you drive and you could visit all these different farms that grow various fruits in the summer. Well, all those fruiting trees have a blossoming time. So the peach blossoms and the cherry blossoms. And so they have blossom time, and you can go and take that loop and see all the blossoms, all different varieties and colors, and probably amazing smells. I love when that happens. And I didn't know that there were more than 100 varieties of cherry blossom trees. So I've mentioned it a couple of times that these are akabono. Mistakenly, a lot of people think that we received these trees from Japan. We didn't. These trees actually were grown right here in Oregon, in Boring, Oregon, and brought in 1992. But cherry blossom varieties all came into the state from Japan. And when I was looking at the list of all the different varieties, they all have Japanese names, you know, so it was pretty extensive, and I can't say them all, but I found that very interesting. Now, they do get up to 50 feet tall, cherry blossom trees, which is a very, that is not in this park. Let's just say that. I'm going to think maybe these trees maybe top out at about 15 feet to 18 feet. And our park staff does a great job in keeping them pruned so they look very good year round. But I'm going to go ahead and read off some interesting facts about cherry blossoms, and I gave you some interesting facts too if you want to go back and forth with me.
All right, sounds good.
All right. There is actually such a thing as cherry blossom ice cream. In Japan, they love their cherry blossoms so much that they have figured out a way to put it into the frozen dessert, which people all over the country enjoy every year. So have you ever had cherry blossom ice cream?
I believe so. Like, of course, it's a pink. And then a little bit has like a salty flavor. But yeah, I remember I had it once or twice. Yes. Yeah.
All right. What about your facts?
All right. Cherry blossom trees in the United States have been around since 1915, when Japan sent the trees to the U.S. as a symbol of goodwill and friendship. In return, the United States sent a beautiful dogwood tree to Japan. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well,
I
there
love
you go.
dog trees.
You do? Yeah, dogwood trees. So I think that's interesting because I know a lot of cities have sister city relationships with cities in Japan.
Right.
And here in Salem, Kawagoa is our sister city. But I know Portland has a sister city. Eugene has a sister city. So that's interesting that, you know, back in 1915, that was done as a symbol of friendship, and
fantastic.
it's just continued since then.
Yeah.
So early April seems to be when Japan's cherry blossoms peak, more specifically April 4th. The Japanese know that on this date, 70% of the cherry trees are in bloom and looking their best, with the blooming period lasting up to 14 days, which we did talk about. You got a short window to come. And I think 14 days is probably a long time because usually we have rain that emerges and then knocks those blossoms right off the tree.
Yeah, even like in Japan, when you look at the news, and then they will follow like where is the bloom is happening right now. So people follow that calendar, and then also the map of Japan, where is blooming, and then next goes to this city and then that city, and then go to the north. Of course, starting from the south. So yeah, we are very much into like a cherry blossom calendar, and then that's our things in the
so
spring.
From the south, because it's warmer in the south,
exactly.
and so they emerge with the heat,
Right.
and then go up to the north. That's
But
interesting.
14 days, yes, it's very short. I think that's something about the Japanese culture, like, you know, short and then beautiful. I think it's something about Buddhism, or I'm not sure where that coming from. But the very much Japanese culture that very short but blooms so beautiful, and then you better enjoy it right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Be present in the moment.
Yes, exactly.
And enjoy what you have right in front of your eyes. Yeah. All right.
All right. So I got the festivals centered around cherry blossoms are not just there to celebrate spring. In fact, it has become a symbol for the friendship between Japan and the United States, which is nice to remember when you attend your next cherry blossom festival.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and also new friendships, because it's how I met you.
Exactly.
So, and I think we're going to be going to Yazakura together. This is a perfect transition to talk about that, friendships and Yazakura. So, Yazakura is the nighttime viewing of cherry blossoms. And this year in State Capitol State Park, our Parks and Recreation Department is going to be putting on a celebration on March 26th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here in State Capitol State Park. They're going to be hanging Japanese lanterns in the mall, in the trees, and lightly illuminate so people can come out and enjoy the cherry blossoms at night. So I'm totally excited about this. So we'd like to invite you, the public, to come here then. Bring bento, bring your own picnic, bring a blanket, bring some camp chairs, come on down. We do want to let you know there's no alcohol allowed in the park. And I know when you see a picnic like this, you might want to add something to it, but hot tea is a great alternative and very Japanese. And the park does close at 10 o'clock. So we just want to make you aware of that. But I'm going to get on to another fact here. Another thing many people do not realize is how large cherry blossom trees get. I think I already hit on this one, right? Did I just say that one? All right, let me move on to the next. Cherry blossom petals are edible. There are many ways to prepare and use these petals, including a pickled variety that is used as a garnish, a savory salted version, and as a lovely addition to desserts such as cakes and cookies. They can even be bought already prepared and used as a Japanese sakura tea.
Cool. Well, thank you for bringing it up, because I didn't know what to make today, but I just wanted to make it traditional Japanese bento and then dessert for the Hanami. And then here they are. So these are dango, and then it's a mochi. And then you can make it super easy, like just the mochiko and sugar and tofu, and that's it. And then so the cherry blossom pickled one, this pink one, usually you use that cherry blossom to make this color, but of course here we didn't have it, so I used the strawberry jam and then a little bit of red coloring and then made it cherry color.
And it does, it looks like a little cherry. It's so nice.
And then the white, so the cherry, this is a represent cherry blossom. And then this, there is a lot of different way, but two things that I learned was, one is like a snow on the mountain, still like early spring, so there is still snow on the mountain, so represent the snow, or a little bit of like the sake, kind of unfiltered sake. And then green, of course, the brand new shoots of all the greens that we have in the early spring. So that's, here it is.
So again, all the significance with color and nature.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then Hanami dango, here it is.
Hanami. And let's talk about this bento box as well, because you opened this one when we took a break, and it has a sandwich. And because we're inviting the public, of course, to create their own picnic or their own bento box to bring to our Yazakura on March 26th, this is something that looks very familiar to me.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So the Stacy asked me like something that we can share with people watching this, and then sure. And then sandwich is everywhere. Maybe you are not familiar with this kind of bento, but sandwich, everybody can make it. Everybody has it. And then, or you can just go buy them and then put it in a box or put it in a Tupperware. And then here it is, just a sandwich and then the oranges. And then bring along with the tea. Here it is.
Here it is.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. I love the presentation.
Great.
And thank you for going through all that work.
Sure. I had a great time.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it. All right. Do you want to read one more fact?
All right. Cherry blossom are not always pink. In fact, they are come in colors such as greenish yellow or white, although most do turn to pink with age.
And see, look I dressed appropriately. Green, pink, white. I've got all the colors. I wanted to embody spring as well out here today. Okay, so Mika, I find this one interesting. You know, we know about the blossoms here in Oregon. We know about the blossoms in Japan. And of course, in Washington, D.C., right? Tons of cherry blossoms. And the mall in Washington, D.C. is known for that. They have a cherry blossom festival there too. But the place that holds the title of cherry blossom capital of the world is not found in any of those places. It is found in Macon, Georgia. What? What? Macon, Georgia, where more than 300,000 cherry blossom trees of the Yoshino variety can be found throughout the city. I had no idea. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. And I am really excited because we're going to be taking this bento over to our blanket and we're going to be partaking in a little hanami.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Bye. Thank you.